Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'll be looking at the first of a series. I don't think I'm looking at them in order, but I just got a huge package from Tommy Masturi, who I've reviewed Simply Samuel, and I don't know if I posted it yet, but I know I did a review of his book Anthology of Mind. We're looking forward to doing an interview with Tommy, and I had reached out to buy the rest of his works, and he just sent a care package of like all this stuff that he's made, including this magazine KUTI that he's a part of that looks like a free production, and I'm assuming it's from Finland because I believe that's where Tommy Masturi is from. Tommy Masturi did the cover for this one. And yeah, it looks like it's done. I think it's done with like a grant from the Finnish government as well. I could be wrong on the details of that. Some of it's like the advertisements all in a different language, so I can't read those. But since these are free books, and since he got me a whole bunch of them, and there's and this is, I got like number 54 through 59, I think, this 57, so there's got to be a whole bunch of these out there. But they're these little anthology books. Tommy Masturi functions as an editor in a lot of them, or is on the editorial team. So I was just going to do an episode a piece on these because I could flip through and show a lot of artists that people haven't seen before, and I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in these. I'm really excited about them. So this is digital KUTI or digital KUTI, and so it seems like each one's themed. The two that I've read so far are themed. This one seems to be digital, dealing with computers and stuff. So there's a lot of this like 8-bit looking art, which is really cool. This one's by Raquel Myers, and it's called Inattention. But yeah, some really cool effects there. Then you have Tommy Masturi. This is one of his Samuel pieces, and I've got a couple of the Samuel books now. Did a review on one, and I didn't realize, but I think there's 3 Samuel books, and just 2 of them haven't been released in the United States, but it doesn't matter because they're all silent. So I got one of those. But this is cool because I was able to scan all these QR codes, and they actually lead to stuff that would like be in the frames, or there's like videos. I wasn't able to scan this one. Maybe I'd have to scan that, not with my just my camera, but with a barcode scanner. But I was able to scan most of these. I had trouble with the really small ones, but I think even like these 2 I was able to get. So I thought that was really cool. I don't like the Samuel stuff is pretty surreal and vague about what it's about, but I really like that interactive stuff. This is 2 images that were created with an AI, and this was put out in 2020. So this is cool because this is people playing with AI comics. 2 years ago, me and Sean were talking about like Abolition of Man as the first comic that's fully illustrated by an AI. Like this whole book's not illustrated, so I guess we can still claim that. But some of these were apparently made with AI. So this is just faux vacation photos of landscapes by the sea created digitally. This is by Bogomil Bratoev, I believe is the name, and they're called Shore. So that's really cool. I don't know what these little wingdings down here add up to, but that's interesting as well. This is by Tina Lehikonen. And another thing that's cool about this is it's bilingual. So this is like in English here, and then it's translated, I believe, in Finnish. Is that the proper? I don't know. I'm such an American. I get all this shit wrong. And then here you have in a different language, and it's translated into English. So that's cool. It's a little bit hard on some of these stories where it's like all in a different language up here to go down and just read each one. But I get it. Like that's how it has to be. So I appreciate it's a bilingual thing too. This is by Jellica. I really like this. Again, it's just this old like 8-bit art, like early internet era stuff, and you're getting like just different mail online, the grisliest bears on Teletext, so they're like different early websites almost, giant wasps, and just some of the things that like the early internet era, the giant wasps were a thing. This is by Jonas Rentacanto, and like just a guy talking to his kids through TV. And then this one here is fully AI generated as well by Ilan Manowak and Yanis Siglidis. So all of these are AI, and this is in 2020. So you can tell that this was probably with an early version of DALL-E. This is probably the first version of DALL-E. And I don't know what it adds up to, but it seems to just be an experiment. But that's cool to see like an early precedent, 2 years ago, someone messing around with the things that we're messing around with now. Yeah, it's cool. This is a cool magazine. Esco Hakila? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm butchering all of these names. This one is just like about kids interacting with the internet, and then this character here is like, oh my god, I gotta save them from themselves. And then there's a fun trick here where the characters start complaining about things being, and this strip shows back up after a break. I guess it's a different writer. Maybe they're collaborating, because this is by Rup Aronin, but it has this same image here, kind of, but it's like pixelated. And then in this story, they talk about like that the real life is like pixelated, or the real content is pixelated, but the ads are in like high definition. And I thought that was funny, that they're purposely printing them poorly. But that like shows up in this one as well, which I think is kind of interesting. We got another 8-bit one by Benjamin Bergman. I just like the look of that. And they're all experimental, so I don't think that, the narratives for me don't add up to much in a lot of the cases. Tim Koch. Again, some 8-bit patterning stuff. I really like these abstract ones. It's about the poetics of form more than it is about storytelling. And then Taro Heikkinen is another. This is an Andy Warhol one. So yeah, I mean, every one of these is interesting in a different way. Usually anthologies, there's some that I like and some that I don't, but even these ones where I don't really like the art on it so much, they're doing something formally cool. And all these 8-bit ones throughout are cool. And it's printed really well. I mean, it's like on newsprint, but it looks really nice. So this is great. I wish that I had a way to get these as they were coming out, these free comics that they're releasing. So this is a really cool magazine, and I've got a bunch more of them, and I'll do an episode a piece, because everything I've seen so far is worthy. So thanks for following along with this one. If you appreciate what we're doing here on the channel, there's 2 ways to support us. One is to contribute through our Patreon, which we always really appreciate. That helps us get more books and stuff. And then the most important way to support kind of the mission of Living the Line is to support what Sean's doing with Living the Line Publishing. So we'll take a look at some of the books that he's put out or has coming out now. The Exile by Eric Creek is a gorgeously illustrated Viking saga of revenge. Eric Creek calls it his Viking Western. It's about a guy who's been away on the warpath and is returning home to some family troubles that have to be resolved. And this is told in just this amazing, like, kind of 3-color art style that looks like old woodblock cuts or something. It's absolutely gorgeous book that you've got to pick up. Issue 4 of The Abolition of Man is a one-off story called Maria's Story. It exists within the greater world of the Hotech series that we built up, but it's a one-off story. And probably the most disgusting, terrifying, frightening comic book I have ever seen. Part of why that is we had this both written and illustrated by an AI. So we had one AI that generated the story, all the descriptions and the text, and then another, we used Midjourney to illustrate it. And it's terrifying. It's seriously terrifying. This is basically a story of abuse and sex slavery that the AI came up with. So quite possibly the most grotesque comic of all time, and definitely the most frightening thing I've ever read. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
What's your